Hello, 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 everyone, and thank you and welcome back to Let's Talk About It, Steph. Today is going to be an interesting day, of course. We have some special guests on here. We have Christie Wood, who is running for House District 64. We have Nick Pappas on tonight, who is running for a Denton County judge. And then we have Julie Evans. She is running for House District 64. Yes, I know it before you even say it. Yes, I have two of the same folks running for the same position on here. Yeah, I know, but you know what? We're gonna be all right. And then of course we got our lovely Dale Frey on here, who is running for Denton County Clerk. Okay, it's Denton Night. We're the Denton Knights. And then we have Angela Brewer, who is running for Denton Mayor. So this is going to be a very interesting night. So I want y'all to sit back and enjoy. And before I bring everybody up, tell me that you went and liked, subscribed, and share. You got time now. Like, subscribe, and share because we got to get the word out about all our wonderful candidates across the state of Texas. But tonight is all about the D. It's all about Denton tonight, y'all. So I'm going to bring them on up and y'all be nice. If you have questions, y'all know what to do. Comment, send it to us, and we will be right there with you. All right. So I'm getting ready to bring them on. We can't.
Oh yeah, Angela, go ahead and turn your camera on.
His face.
Hey, how you doing, Steph? Good to see you again.
Hello.
Doing?
Oh, it's a wonderful night.
Let's hear feedback.
Center yourself. Face.
Chrissy, I got you up there just big and tall. You're gonna be up there talking tonight.
Okay.
Okay, we got it. Yes. So, are y'all excited about your campaign?
Yes, it's going extremely well and it's just going full blast and we've got boots on the ground everywhere.
Exactly. Nick, how's it going on your campaign?
Excellent. Just starting out, finished setting up my policies, still updating my website.
Yeah, it's going really well. I think for everyone, it's interesting. We
Well,
have
you know
some
what? That's
primaries.
good because I
Oh,
too.
I think Stephanie might be a little bit lagged, but
Oh yes.
we'll
Oh
go.
yeah.
She might be frozen too. But we can go ahead and start with the introductions first. So let's start off with Christy. Can you tell our audience what you're running for and what your policies are?
All right. Well, my name is Christie Wood. I am running for Texas House of Representatives District 64, and that is a district which encompasses a good section of north and central Denton, and it then goes down through central city of Denton and into Robeson Ranch, but it also includes all of Wise County. So this is a statewide position. And my policy platforms are centered on four basic things. Number one is health care for all. And the second one is public school support for our public schools and getting rid of that school voucher and getting more support for our public school teachers and staff so they have a living wage. Third main policy for me is water planning, water infrastructure at the state level because this is affecting all of Texas, basically planning for the use of water. The fourth category is better infrastructure. We need better roads, we need better fire equipment, fire staff, EMTs, and access to health care, particularly in the rural parts of our counties. So those are my four policy platforms. Possum. I'm sorry, Dale, who are you directing that to? Okay.
Hi, I'm also running for HC64. You'll find, as you know, as predicted, a lot of the campaign things mirror each other. I think as Democrats, you could say, "What are you running for?" Or what are you running on?" And all of our answers would kind of be a mirror of each other because it's such a mess right now. One of my big things is education. I am a retired special ed educator. And so I've seen firsthand the struggle that teachers go through trying to outfit their classrooms on the meager amount that they can claim on their taxes. They've spent that when the calendar comes out, so that's long gone. But also our parents, our CSINT workers, that the stuff flies off the shelf. Talking about the kids getting free breakfast and lunch. I've seen firsthand in a Title I school that can be the last meal of the day for a lot of kids. And breakfast is the first meal they've had since they left school the day before. And so that's huge for me. Healthcare is huge. We have, as I'm sure most people know, a disabled daughter and a granddaughter that's 2 years old, has had multiple surgeries. And so that struggle to get those services is just about constant. And then, of course, with us, but because my husband is a veteran, the umbrella that includes veterans, homelessness, and mental health is a huge deal for us. And veteran services were already so not met. And if possible, this administration has actually lowered that bar. And so we're seeing jumps in homelessness. We're seeing less mental health care. The wait for those is much longer, and of course the drive is much longer. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about was water. We're talking about the fact that AI is using billions of dollars to cool their chips. And there are areas in Texas where an article came out in Texas Monthly where a lady, literally her truck is to haul 500 gallons of water a week, and she fought 10 years to get electricity to her area. She fought to get water there. Meanwhile, there is a huge AI manufacturing plant being built that is going to suck those already depleted resources straight out of these people's houses. And these were people that bought this land that was broken apart. They worked fields in Minnesota and saw a life for themselves, buying a ranch based on the promise of citrus growing, only to find out when you move down there, even though you signed on the dotted line, there is no water. There is no electricity. There is no sewage. You have to pay for all that yourself. And even then, you can't get it. And so those are real things. Those AI chip manufacturing plants that are coming through are real issues for Texas. So, yes, I get up in arms about it. And we do have our campaign launch tomorrow night at the Brown Thumb. We're super excited because as a Cajun, my dear friend Todrick Coleman is going to be there with his Cajun food truck, and I may not talk. I may just be eating all night. We'll see how it goes. And it's coffee, so that's a food group for us. So thank you very much. I appreciate you having me on, Stephanie and Dale.
I muted my own self. Thank you for coming on. I know. I just shut my own self up. You see how that goes? We're gonna bring up Mr. Nick Pappas. I know y'all all know him. He did run for governor, but now he has the good sense to go where the real work is at. Yes, we're gonna welcome on Mr. Nick Pappas.
Oh, Nick, I think you might be on mute. You
Nick,
want
are
to unmute
you
yourself?
muted?
Be.
There you go.
There you
Now
go.
we can hear you.
So
Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for hosting me again. I really appreciate it. I love being on here. So I am now running for Denton County Judge. One of the primary things I'm running on is to explain what the Denton County Judge is because nobody knows. Nobody has any idea what it does. So the way that I explained it to everybody is it's less like Judge Judy and more like Judge Dredd. And then everybody asks me who Judge Dredd is, and I lose more and more faith in humanity.
Mhm.
But the Denton County judge is the CEO of the county. And nobody knows what they do or how they've been doing it or what's been going on because the position has not been ran like it should have. I believe that I could bring a lot of leadership experience, 20 years, to the table, as well as administrative experience. The Denton County judge presides over the commissioner's court. I'll be setting the agendas. I'll be talking about what the commissioners will be voting on, what they'll be bringing to the table, and what we'll be able to implement in the county. That being said, I believe in transparency and accountability. I don't believe that it's enough that we do the right thing. I believe that everybody else needs to see it. I believe that everybody else needs to be able to read it. As an example, the Supreme Court upheld the new Texas maps. Can anybody tell me what the new maps look like? No. Can anybody tell me which precincts changed? No, because they did not publish the information. I do have the documents that the Supreme Court did receive and upheld, so I will be creating those maps and distributing them to everybody because that's the kind of thing that I'm going to be doing as the Denton County judge. The last thing that I wanted to touch on real quick was community support. Denton County does not have a county hospital. Denton County does not have inpatient mental health hospital. Denton County does not have more than one 24-hour homeless shelter or food bank. I want to change all of those things for the better. Thank you.
And also, I'll add
Look
in there
at
that
you.
Nick is
Nick,
in
I'm
both,
so
actually, Nick and
proud
I
of
are both
you.
running county-wide races. Oh, oh, sorry. I was just going to say, just real quick. So, Nick is a county-wide race. So, if you live anywhere in Denton County, he's going to be on your ballot. Just want to put that in there. Stephanie, I'll lead it back to you.
Oh, oh, well, guess what? We got somebody that's getting ready to ring my door. Who is it? Where is she on here?
Who is it?
Oh, yes, she
Angie!
is.
Hello, Angela. Can
Angela,
she
you
hear
want to tell
us?
us about your race and about your policies?
You're on.
Angela, can you hear us? Go ahead and tell us about your race, your mayoral race for the city of Denton. Angela, she might not be able to hear us. Just real quick, Angela, can you hear
I
us?
don't think.
I know she was having some connection issues earlier because I know she was on and off a bit. But Angela,
Okay.
anytime you can hear us, let us know. All right.
I don't think
We
she can hear
may,
us.
yeah, that's okay. We may need a. We'll come back to her. Angela, anytime you do hear us, go ahead and wave us down and let us know. And we'd definitely like to hear your introduction to your campaign, as I know that you're running for to be the mayor of the city of Denton, I believe.
Zoom has a message.
Funny enough about the city of Denton mayor, the current mayor of the city of Denton is he hit his term limit, and so now he's running to be the Denton County Commissioner, and he's primarying right now, but he may be the one who's running against Stephanie. So that'll be very interesting to see.
Mm.
That aside, Stephanie, I'll hand it back to you for the next topic. What was the topic of conversation that you wanted to go over tonight?
Oh my goodness, y'all. We have got to talk about this money, power, and control. First of all, we have all of these billionaires that pretty much are the ones that are in control of what's going on in our country and basically all over the world. So that's one of the hot topics that we're going to be talking about because y'all all know money, if you got the money, you can control the power. If you
Mhm.
got the power, you can control everything else that's going on because what do you have? You have the money to back it up. So we're gonna definitely get into these topics and talk about what can we do as citizens who don't have the money, the power, or the control, but we do have control. So we can take that away from them. We have the power also. And together, if we all put our coins together, we have more money than they do all together if we think that way, right? So we all got to wind up thinking a
Texting
different way
Angela.
in how we can beat the big guy.
Text Angela.
Is Angela, you ready?
I'm not sure if she can hear us, but that's okay. Angela, when you do hear us, just go ahead and wave us down, and we'll definitely hear from you whenever you're ready. Aside from that, so it's a very interesting topic, Daphne. I mean, I do remember that the richest man in the world was trying to pour his money into, I think it was the Wisconsin race. But thankfully, he did not necessarily get his way, but he still has a significant amount of power. And it'll be very interesting to see if he does try to go forward with the so called America Party that he was talking about earlier. But yeah, when it comes to money and power, there's one thing I'll definitely plug real quick for here in Texas. There's two West Texas billionaires by the name of Tim Dunn and Ferris Wilkes, and they pour torrents of money into Texas politics. Every single Republican state level senator in Texas takes their money. Every single one of them. Tim Dunn and Ferris Wilkes, they're not just Christian nationalists. They preach a theology called the Seven Mountain Mandate theology. The Seven Mountain Mandate is an offshoot from NAR, New Apostolic Reformation, and it's a very wild. It's one of the worst versions of Christian nationalism that you can have. I'll put it that way. And I'll let you do your own, because I would go on for hours about New Apostolic Reformation and the Seven Mountain Mandate. I'll let you all look it up yourselves, but it is a very twisted sense of Christianity. I wouldn't even really call it Christianity. It's about power and dominance. And because they have a near monopoly of the natural gas industry in Texas, they have unlimited financial resources. Again, every state level Republican senator takes their money, and so it's very concerning. And yeah, I'll put it that way. I think when it comes to battling the money and the power, I think it's important to drop these names because there are some candidates that we're going to see coming up in these Republican primaries and around who take their money, and I think it's absolutely necessary for us to highlight those candidates in a negative way when they take money from Tim Dunn and Ferris Wilkes and the like. But I'll pass it off to the rest of the team for what do you think about when it comes to money and power and politics here in Texas? Nick?
Yes, thank you. One of the things that I talk about when it's money in politics, I tell everybody to stop electing the same people. Stop it. Everybody knows, politicians are so corrupt, then stop electing the same people. And when people talk about, there's so much money, what can you buy with $100,000? You could get a stupidly nice car. You could get 5 reasonably priced cars. What can you do with $10 million? You could get 20 really nice houses. You could get 40 reasonable houses. But what can you do with $1 billion? You can buy politics. That's it. You can only buy power with that amount of money. You don't see these people trying to buy up states and countries. They can't do that. They can buy the people that are running them. And nobody's paying attention to the fact that, hey, these people are receiving so much money. Why are they voting this way? Why aren't they doing this? Why aren't they helping us topple the power? Because they're getting paid not to. So stop electing the same people. Stop funneling all of your money to all of these millionaires and donate to your local candidates who need it, who are not multimillionaires, who are actually trying to change your life and make it better. Thank you.
In a state with 31 million people, there's 83 billionaires in Texas, and 6 of them hold more power than most people in the United States. 2 of them are the people Dale talked about. And so the odds are insurmountable money wise. You can't compete with that. And their superpower is to get rural Republicans voting against their best interest. You don't have water or a hospital anymore, and your kids can't get free lunch, but let's own the libs by that's their mental power. That's their superpower. Getting you to vote against your best interest, even though even though that you know that they know better, because I've got family members that I know are suffering, and yet they continue to vote the same way every time. And so I'm not sure what the answer is to break the cycle, except that put yourself out there as somebody that's trying to listen to what they're actually going through and suffering, against. But yeah, out of 31 million, when you got 83 people pulling all the strings, there's just the scales of justice financially are way down here for us.
I I have to second everything that's been said. Is absolutely true. We are first time candidates. Julie and I are, and it is very, very difficult to raise money to go into what's at a state level campaign, because this is not limited to only one county. So we're basically state level candidates for two counties. So we have to be extremely careful about where we spend our money, but we also have to do a lot of fundraising, which I find interesting, shall I say, because we're hitting up our friends, we're hitting up our coworkers, we're hitting up anybody who has half a brain and wants to vote to get these yahoos out. So yeah, we have to remind the people who are going to be voting that if you don't like what's been happening in Texas politics, well, look who's been in charge for the last 30 years. Vote the suckers out. Put in real people, put in people who are aware and are suffering with these policies, and let's change the system. But it's going to be difficult to get the message out. So, how do we do that? It's going to have to be through a lot of grassroots work. And it's you talking to your neighbor, and that's a scary thing to do in a partisan environment that we live in right now, but you have to do it. You have to be willing to put yourself out there and actually talk to your neighbors and actually talk without pissing them off. Let's just be real. You don't want to piss them off, but you don't want to waste your time on somebody who's obviously been brainwashed into not voting a certain way. But there's a lot of people out there right now who finally said, enough is enough. I'm going to start looking at what actual people who are running, what they stand for. That's who you need to go for. And that's where our power lies, is in the vote. We're not losing elections because of not getting Democrats. We're losing elections because we're not connecting with the people who are not voting. I mean, Democrats turn out to vote, but it's the people who just say, I'm not voting, it's not worth it. Those are the people who are affecting our elections. Those are the people we need to reach.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's voter information, or educating the voter rather, is very important. And I'll also agree with you there. Texas is not a red state. It's a
Right.
non-voting state where half the population is registered to vote, and of that, even half of them even show up to the voting booth. And that's only during presidential cycles. It's
Yeah.
even lower during midterms, and it's far lower even during primaries. Another thing I'm going to plug in too, because I meant to bring this up earlier, because we were talking about money and power and politics. One of the very frustrating things is that state House representatives and state level senators as well actually make less than minimum wage. They make, if you were to calculate it, $3 an hour. The normal person cannot pay their mortgage like that, right? And it's why a lot of these individuals, like Tim Dunn and Ferris Wilkes, we got lots of Republicans running all the time. We always have lots of Republicans. We have far more Republican primaries than Democratic primaries. And the reason for that is not because that there's more Republicans. The reason for that is because they have all the funding. These billionaires fund these candidates, and they can run for office over and over and over again. But we Democrats, we don't have the same billionaires supporting us. We don't have like a Tim Dunn and Ferris Wilkes. And so it takes a lot of effort for us as Democrats to spend our time and our money. I mean, like I didn't make very much money on my campaign. If anything, I spent money. You know, like some of my
Oh yeah.
coworkers are like, "Oh, you're running to be a senator," like a couple years ago. Like, I don't know how much money you're making there. I'm like, buddy, you don't understand. I'm spending my money, man. I'm spending my money and my time, and it's money that I'm not going to get back. You know, because even if I
Yeah.
do win, I get paid less than minimum wage, and it's set that way specifically in order to make it
Mhm.
more difficult for people who don't have the backings of Tim Dunn and Ferris Wilks to run for office. So it's very unfortunate, and it's ironic because I remember in my last primary, my Democratic primary opponent, he basically brought up this very information, that the fact that elected representatives make less than minimum wage, and he did something which is correct, but a crazy thing to say out loud. He said, "What we need to do is we need to give politicians more money." Now, when you stand on a stage and you tell people, "Oh, we need to give politicians more money," that sounds crazy,
Yeah.
right? But he's actually not wrong. If being a state house representative or state
Yeah.
senator made enough, just a decent amount, so you can pay your mortgage, and more people would run. Or rather, more people would be able to run who are not backed by Tim Dunn and Ferris
You
Wilks.
need an incentive for people that are good, want to run, and can afford to do it. And the way it's done now is if you work a full-time job, because I'm sure I speak for Christy when I say we're in it for that gigantic paycheck a year that you get. When I tell people what it pays, they literally don't believe me. I've had people pick up their phone and check it. And they're like, why are you doing this? And I'm like, yeah, it's for that sexy paycheck that's out there. But you are right in a way because the incentive is not there. And you are eliminating whole groups of people that would run, that would be good candidates and might have backing simply because of that.
That's absolutely true.
Yeah,
Um,
I agree.
we should, they're saying, why don't we have more young people running? Well, they're working. Golly, come on. Most of us who are running, let's be honest, are retired.
Yeah. I mean, what time is
I'm
it?
not retired yet.
we're retired, so yeah, this is a full-time job for us now. Honestly, man, this has taken a lot of my time and a lot of your time, a lot of everybody's time and money. Oh my gosh,
Mhm.
just
Yeah.
just to get your name recognition out there is it's an incredible amount of money,
Mhm.
and we're just talking basic marketing. We're not
Yeah.
talking big ads. We're not
Billboards. Yeah.
none of that. We're just
See,
No.
talking
that's where y'all going into that campaign finance to where there needs to be a cap on it. And also, I definitely agree with you. There needs to be some type of incentive because Dell and I both ran for state senate, and I was sitting up here like, oh, I'm gonna have to keep my daytime job. One of them.
One of them.
You
Yeah.
really can't you really can't afford to do it. But y'all understand game. This is how the system was made. It was not made for middle class or poor people. It was made for the rich and those that can afford it because they are the ones that are making the decisions for us. And that needs to stop. It needs to be somebody that is middle class. It needs to be even a poor person that's in office because you know what? They understand what's going on and what their community needs.
Mhm.
That's why it's important for us to have representatives that represent the community. What billionaire lives in the hood?
Right. And
They
you know,
don't
this is
understand
not
it.
a new concept because when Rome was being established, it was exactly the same as it is now. You never had a single peasant hold a
Mhm.
single position
Good.
because they could not afford to pay the filing fee, as it were back then. And so this is something that's was established a long time ago. They knew back then. If we want to be in power, let's make it
Exactly.
so they can't be in power. And that's just a cycle that's a
Exactly.
thousand years old or however long it is. You'd have to ask you. But that's they put that in play for a reason. Rich people put that in play for a reason. It's difficult to overcome, but not
Yeah, because
impossible. Not impossible.
one thing I
exactly. But you know what? I think okay, I'm gonna say this here. You know, I think that's one of the reasons why 2026 is going to change because there are a lot of people that look like everybody in your community, right? So I really believe that the folks have gotten tired of these rich, filthy rich
Mhm.
people dictating how we supposed to live, how what we supposed to eat, how what type of vaccines we're supposed to take, how our veterans are taken care, how the homeless are taken care of. Because Julie, you and I both was at, and your husband,
Mm-hmm.
we all three of us was at the homeless place to get ready to go do the pit count.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it's time out for the billions because those people that you mentioned, Dale, I guarantee you they're not going to go out there
No.
in the middle of the night to be counting the homeless people
Mhm.
unless they're going to take them and have them doing something in their yard. Let's be real.
It's so true.
It's true.
They're not going to do it.
No.
And they're not going to have no homeless person except for their kids in their homes either. They're
Mm-hmm.
not going to do it, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, y'all, this is the time that we have to put our foot down and fight for the people. We have to fight for this next generation that is behind us because I'm going to tell you, I'm finna say the F word. We done effed around and done found out that fat meat is greasy. We
yeah.
we
Mm-hmm.
we did. We did. You know, we assume that the people on the other side had a little common sense when you got how many counts? 34 counts. You got failed business, you
And
got
counting.
bankrupt, got you got three wives. I've never heard of a president that have three wives. You got three wives. You like your daughter a little bit too much. It's a lot of
Yes.
stuff that you had
Yes.
in your past that's in your future. And then you wearing the pins and you pooping all over the place
Oh,
and you
Mm.
making people have to smell that. You know, I had to say that. But y'all get what I'm saying? It's full of caca.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
Yes.
people like us are tired of it. I look at all those young people that we seen last night at Jordan's kickoff
Mm-hmm.
last night, all those young people there, and I look at them, I'm like,
Uh-oh, I think she broke up.
She froze at an
She broke
amazing
up.
place.
An
I was
amazing
gonna say,
place. I'm like, what?
Well,
leaving us in suspense.
yeah. Well,
But
let me let me let me follow in on that statement. Most of if you look at Denton County and you look at the housing situation that's there right now, there's a great section of our population who are spending 30% or more of every paycheck just on housing,
Mm-hmm.
it, on rent. It's we don't have affordable housing in Denton. We don't have enough of it. We don't really have a middle class. Let me put it out there. We really don't. I'm old enough to have seen it. I am the child of middle class working people. And I've seen the middle class get cut and cut and cut and cut to where right now we really don't have much of a middle class at all anymore. We have the working poor, and then we have people with money, and then we have a whole bunch of people who don't care. So I care about the generation, my grand niece, her generation. She can't afford to buy a house. They're still stuck in rent. They've got a kid now. They don't have a future. It's becoming rather, there's a lot of hopelessness in being stuck without a good working wage and without good affordable housing. So those are issues that I believe whoever goes to the Texas legislature and whoever becomes the next mayor of Denton and whoever becomes our next county judge, thank you very much, Nick, needs to address is the disappearing middle class and the squeezing out of the middle class because of a lack of affordable housing and lack of wages that actually you can live on. So, anyway, I just wanted to bring that up.
Dale, I'm
Now,
curious to know your thoughts on voter fatigue, on people saying, I'm just going to let somebody else do this. I can't make a difference anyway.
yeah, I would say that I see that a lot, and I want to say this without this coming off sounding insulting, because one would say
Mm,
that voters have a
mhm.
short-term memory, because sometimes you'll see some politicians do the most outlandish things, and they'll tend to do them usually more so at the beginning of their term, because people might not remember the terrible things that was done at the very beginning of someone's administration or while they had
Right.
power. But
Thank you.
I don't want this to come off sounding insulting, because it's not necessarily that voters have short-term memories, but there's so much going on, and we have a 24-hour news cycle to the point that it really confuses a lot of people.
Yes.
And it could be difficult to track all these things or even remember. I myself sometimes tend to forget what has happened in the past until I see like one of those Facebook memories pop up. Like 1 or 2 years ago, I was posting about like
Yes.
some foolishness that Trump has done. So it's definitely a thing. But I will tell people this: I say to those who have voting fatigue and those who think like, "Oh, my vote doesn't matter," the lower the turnout, the more
Here.
difference your vote makes.
Okay.
Some of these elections, like primaries, have a very low turnout. Runoff
Mm,
elections have crazy low turnout.
Those are
We have a
those.
special
don't
election.
hit any buttons.
Yeah, special election. We have a special election coming up in Frisco right now. Actually,
The
today's the
very
first day to vote, by
short
the way. If
black
you live in
cord.
Frisco, today's the first day for early voting for the special election for city council. But
Okay.
we also note that those are going to be very, very low turnout. And so I tell the voters who have voter fatigue, or those who think, oh, my vote doesn't matter, the lower the turnout, the more difference your vote makes. I have seen people win and lose their primaries or runoffs by like 10, 20 votes, right?
Two
These
Mm,
things
votes.
can be very close.
wow.
I've seen it at 2 votes.
Yes.
Yes, so it's definitely, I would
Did it.
say, the lower the turnout, the more difference your vote makes. Your vote truly does matter. I think Stephanie is back. Where is she frozen? I can't. I think she's frozen. Okay. Well, we'll probably move on to the next topic. And Nick, I'll probably tap you because we're going to talk about ICE and all of the terrible things that is going on in our country right now. It can be painful to turn on the news sometimes, or even go onto social media because of all the clips of just not. It feels like all over the country at this point. We're seeing ICE officers just grabbing people for no reason. And Nick,
Mhm.
I would like to. Well, I think I want to talk to our audience and describe to them about 287G. 287G is a contract between Denton County and ICE. There's different types of 287G programs, but it is essentially deputizing local law enforcement as ICE, among other things. And I get very nervous about 287G and
It's
our
charging.
county's association with ICE,
Hmm.
because when ICE goes too far, or if our local law enforcement goes too far or hurts somebody or injures somebody, our county gets sued. Case in point, Keith Aaron Vanderventer, 27-year-old, had a mental health crisis. His grandma called 911. Our police officers apparently threw him in jail. He then died, and he officially, the statement from the medical examiners, he died from dehydration. A 27-year-old died in our Denton County prison from dehydration, and now that grandma is suing our county. So now, granted, that's not ICE affiliated, but I do worry that should ICE come here to Denton County,
Hmm.
nab someone up the street for no reason, throw them into our jail, I worry about that because we're already being sued right
Can I
now
mention
for a
anything
wrongful
in your
death case for Heath
subdivision
Aaron
about
Vanderventer
me?
from dehydration.
No.
But I mean, we don't have to necessarily focus specifically on local stuff
We're
because
going to
there's
be
so much
getting
going on throughout the
into
country. Nick, how are your
immigrant
feelings about
warfare,
what's going on right now with
which is
ICE and
fine.
I don't want you to get in
287G and
trouble.
all the
It
above?
won't get me in trouble.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, ICE, when I was campaigning for governor of Texas, I was talking about how ICE has always been terrible and we need to abolish them. And now we have 287G, which is mandatory in Texas. The governor's already signed off on it, but it does not go to the counties, unfortunately. It goes to the sheriffs of the counties. So we've got the federal government and now the state government, the state attorney general, ordering the sheriff's office, hey, now you will work with ICE. If ICE says that they need certain patrols in your areas, that's what you're going to do. They don't get a choice. I find this state level overreach, just as far as, in Texas. It's no different than in New York when they did the stop and frisk laws. This is specifically to target minority communities. It's very blatant. And the reason why it's so easy to just get away with is because we have laws like 287G, where it's easy to be like, hey, listen, we're in charge of so many different parts of the government. Literally, nothing can happen to us no matter what we do. And that's what's happening right now. That's what happens when they murdered a American citizen. And now all of a sudden everybody's like, well, there's nothing we can do about it. Why is there nothing we can do about it? They killed an American citizen on video with multiple angles. Like, we don't have anybody that's like, oh, I have no idea what happened. Everybody can see it. But the problem is that everybody decides, oh, well, ICE is a federal program, and ICE, if ICE was a country, they would be the 13th largest military in the world. And that is what is on our streets in America. ICE just shortened their training period to 47 days in a nod to the president. And they are constantly, just in case anybody was confused, they are constantly skipping different levels of their screening processes to railroad ICE agents through and get them on the streets. There's a reason why they cover their face. And that's because I'm willing to bet at least the vast majority of them are all January 6ers. I mean, unless somebody can prove me wrong, that's the theory. And the last thing that I want to say about ICE is when we get the opportunity, they will go through the same trials that the Nazis did. When we get the opportunity, that is what will happen. Nobody escapes justice. There's a reason why Lady Liberty is blind, and justice is supposed to be blind. It's supposed to happen to everybody. All of these ICE agents running around with impunity right now, we're not going to have Republicans in office forever. And when they're out, hopefully soon, we're going to make sure that everybody is held accountable for their actions to the full extent of the law. Thank you.
Stephanie, are you back? Oh, I think you were. I'll pass it off to so we're talking
Yeah,
about ICE
yeah.
right now, Steph.
I think okay.
Nope.
I think Christy No kicked me off.
Sorry.
I must have hit a nerve. But okay, so I'm following y'all on this one. With the what's going on in Minnesota. I don't know if y'all had talked about this before we all was like kicked off of here, but let me talk about this 21-year-old. So this 21-year-old young man was at a protest in California. Not only did he get dragged, but they shot this young they popped this, I'm not going to say the other word. They popped this young man in the eye, and now he's going to be blind. Not only is he going to be blind, he had a concussion, a very severe head injury. 21 years old, and he will be permanently blind. And those ICE agents, those thugs, were saying, "Oh, you're gonna be blind. You're gonna be blind." They were mocking him while they were dragging him. Then we hear about this, and I'm getting this information from secondhand, third hand from Don Lenham's show. I'm gonna give him his credit, but they also was talking about this young lady that was pregnant. They detained her, they dragged her. She was pregnant, and she wound up losing her child in wherever they took her to. Then on top of that, they took this lady off the planet. She just dropped her 6-year-old son at school. She told that man, I'm not mad at you. And the office, in whatever that was, that animal grabbed her door, called her B, tried to pull her out of her car. She follows orders. She drives off, trying to drive off, trying to avoid those guys. One is filming and pulling his weapon out at the same time as he's filming, and three pops go into this vehicle while her partner was on the other side. And all I can say is it was a blessing in disguise that that door was locked, because not only would we have had one victim, we would have had two. Something has got to stop. They they targeted brown people, black and brown people. Now they're targeting everybody. So I'm telling y'all, nobody is safe. Nobody is safe. I know how it feels to lose a parent through gun violence. And I'm going to tell you the damage that has been left behind for that 6-year old is going to change that child's life. If he makes it to be a teenager, it's going to damage him for the or her for the rest of their life. What are y'all waiting on? And I'm talking about the Congress. I'm talking about the Senate. What are y'all waiting on? They're killing our people that voted for you. They're killing your people, which is our people. They're American citizens. I guarantee you they pay their taxes. And by the way, y'all gonna want us to pay our taxes as soon as our W-2s drop. Those up, you're gonna want us to pay it so y'all can go give $40 million to a stupid ass country that didn't ask for it. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm getting a little passionate about it, but I'm being real.
That's fine.
Enough is enough. This is like being in an abusive relationship, and never in my life have I ever been in an abusive relationship, but I work with enough battered women in my life to know that America is being abused, and enough is enough. You have separated us from other countries. You have used your money to weaponize outside people to go against us. You are stealing, you're taking, you breaking all kind of laws. And who's going to stop you? Who's going to stop you? We got people outside this country that are mad, and they looking at us like we're stupid because we're allowing this stuff to happen. And my question is, what are you going to do, Congress? What are you going to do, Senate? What are you going to do, House, in all these states? What are you going to do, senators? Because this is happening in your state. This is happening in our country. We should not have boots on the freaking ground to go against American people. They're going to literally wind up pushing our soldiers to hurt us. Nick, you're an ex-soldier. You know exactly what I'm talking about, what's getting ready to happen. And they're expecting you, the people, we the people, to act a fool so they can call martial law. And once that happens, it's going to be hard as hell to get out of it. It's going to take an act of Congress that we actually act like we don't have to get us out of this mess. People, I got you. Y'all, it's time for, if you have not registered to vote, y'all need to get off your butt. Take your kids down there that don't turn 18. Go register to vote. When February 17th, the day before my birthday, I need to see y'all hitting them primaries and go vote early. Go vote early. Do not wait for election day. Go vote early. Dallas County, I'm so disappointed in y'all for not standing up and doing the right thing, because y'all are making those citizens sit up here and have to go to their precincts instead of going to where it's close to them for them to go vote. Y'all are voter suppressing these people, and enough is enough. Now y'all got it. Go ahead, Julie. Julie.
Muted. Oh,
There you go.
another thing is too, uh, morality aside, I mean, and this is going to sound cold because we all feel the same way about how wrong it is morally. It's bad for business. It's bad for Texas in every way possible. We're seeing our workforces depleted. We're seeing people not show up to run their food trucks or go to work at wherever they may work. Greg Abbott is actually making it harder for Texas businesses to move forward and work the way they normally work. My husband is a home builder, and ICE came through their subdivision one day and it just shut it down. I mean, they sent everybody home, everybody went home, and you're talking thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars worth of money just in that one instance, that one day, that one business, that one community. And so, morally, it's the worst ever. As Nick was saying, yeah, it's Nuremberg bad. That's where we're headed, we hope. And then the other thing is, Texans should understand, why does your food cost more? Because we do not have people out there working farms and doing all the stuff they're leaving to do it somewhere else in a state that will accept them. We have people in our family that literally came over here. They became citizens, but they came over on a boat from Vietnam. And so we understand nobody's safe. That's a thought that we have in the back of our heads. And so morally, financially, it touches every aspect of our lives. By the way, kids not showing up to school, Texas pays by the seat. That's why they do a roll count every morning. They pay per child, per day, per butt in the seat. And so if you have families that are leaving that are scared, that's Texas schools already just automatically getting less money. It just like it permeates and it's gonna permeate every aspect of our life the longer it goes on. Because we're not getting that $11 billion back that he's trying to get reimbursed from. That's not going to happen. Greg Abbott trying to get this money. He says he's going to feed it into sheriff's offices and stuff. I don't see that happening. So it's a financial crisis. It's a moral crisis. And I know that people understand that logically, but it's the disconnect between, if I vote and make something different happen, maybe I'll have a different result. And yet they still continue to vote the same way. So that's a word to get out too, is that financially it's crippling. It's going to cripple our state eventually. I mean, you can't just run on oil all the time. You have to run on people. You have to run on labor. You have to run on a higher minimum wage. These are all just common sense things. That's me. You can mute me back. I get mad like you do, Stephanie.
If I could say something too while we got the mic. This thing, I'm trying to process the whole thing. It doesn't make any sense to me. So, back in the time when we were occupied, when our land was occupied by our, home country, Great Britain, we had a time when we revolted. And one of the catalysts was the Boston Massacre. And it was a killing of citizens of the land by an occupying force. The thing is, right now, this is our own government. And so we go back to the German analogy, where you have a fascist state takes over and starts killing.
Don't say the K word.
Starts killing the people. And there's got to be some kind of inflection point that we're not there yet. And I don't know why. It's almost like the Republicans have gaslighted themselves, oddly enough. And so that doesn't make any sense. But the idea here, this is what Julie woke up one morning, mad at herself about being mad and continuously being mad, and said, look, I'm just going to run and let's try to, make change. Let's try to stem this tide. And it comes down to voter participation. If we can't get Democrats out to vote, uh, because it's got to be either an incremental change and progression where more Democrats are in the races, more Democrats are voting, and we start to get our voice out there and we start to make some change by getting more Democratic candidates who win the races. That's one thing. But at another point, I don't know. I mean, if eggs, the price of eggs was the thing that was the tipping point for Republicans to vote in Trump this last time. I mean, it's much worse now. The affordability situation is much worse than it was.
Yeah.
None of this makes any sense. I don't know. Mute us now.
Absolutely. I totally agree. I think, Stephanie, are you frozen again? I think she might be frozen. Christie, I don't know if you want to talk about this. I also know we might be.
Oh, there you
That
go.
must be Stephanie because I don't know where that button is.
Thank you, Mr. Evans. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Mr. Evans.
I see it. It's right. Hey, you know what? I think it's that Louisianian in me that comes out fiery mad. But this is a question I want to ask everybody. Why do we have to get so angry to run? Because when I
Great
ran for
question.
Senate, I was pissed off because they were taking Greg Abbott and his cronies were taking the rights away from women to say what they wanted to do with their body. Now you're sitting up here, and those of y'all that are going to House and those of y'all that's going to be running for state Senate, you do realize women do not have no control of what happens to their body. So if they do wind up getting aped, and they wind up doing something with that pregnancy, the family of the ape can sue the people who assisted with that, taking care of that pregnancy. I forgot the dollar amount. I think it's up to $250,000 is what that apist family could get. That's wrong.
I don't think makes sense.
You're victimizing that person all over again. Go ahead, Nick.
Sorry, just very quickly. The cruelty is the point.
Yes.
The entire point is to have all of these white male Republicans, all of these fake female Christians. The entire point is to give them someone to hate. And when you do that, it is very easy to dehumanize them. I wouldn't get an abortion, but she would get it. Oh, I wouldn't get a thing, but she would get a thing. I can hate her because I think that's gross. And then people cheer them on, and that's not okay. And that is the entire reason why that specific instance, the apists could not do that beforehand. Now they can. Now it's like, oh, I didn't approve to have this terminated, so something needs to happen. I understand that I'm currently being held criminally liable for what I did, but I don't want that to happen. But for some reason, they get to choose. But the woman doesn't get to choose. That cruelty is the point. Sorry.
Okay, I'm going to speak up on it. Not only is the cruelty the point, the issue is to make their voters feel that they are superior to somebody else underneath them. And that gives them the illusion of some power. No matter how poor or oppressed or whatever they happen to be, if there's somebody that they can kick, it's going to make them feel better. So that's part of the strategy. But there are unintended consequences that are happening right now, which affect every single person in Texas. because of these extreme restrictive laws that have been passed, we are losing our generation of up and coming doctors. We can't train them because we can't even talk about it at the medical schools. If you want to be an OBGYN and you think you can get trained in Texas, sorry, Charlie, you're not going to get the full education because we can't even talk about it without risk of the doctor being sued also. So we are losing a whole generation of our next OBGYNs. They can't possibly stay in the state of Texas and practice. So they're leaving the state. We are losing medical students coming into the state for training because we can't train them well. So these have unintended consequences, or maybe they're intended. I don't know, but they're stupid. And anybody who thinks that these sort of restrictions on medical care between a person and their doctor, that the state should be in charge of it, no. This is between a person and their doctor, and we need to get rid of these restrictive laws. So there.
Absolutely. One of my family members, she votes Republican, and she was complaining to me the other day. She's like, "Man, every time I go to the OBGYN, it's like a different person." I'm like, "Yeah, it's because you voted the way you do. Because the current Republicans, they make the laws very, very vague to the point where doctors sometimes, even when they actually read the law that is written, they're not necessarily certain whether or not they could possibly get sued or not." So the legislation is also written in a very vague way, and I think that's kind of intentional, because if they were to be too restrictive, sometimes there's a risk of that legislation to be challenged in court. But if they make it vague enough, then it can sometimes work, sometimes not. But we definitely need to have. Well, obviously we need to elect Democrats, but we at least would need to know what specifically the law really is, rather than being very vague about it, which is what, as you mentioned, scares a lot of doctors, and it's why we're losing a lot of OBGYNs.
Yeah. Christy and Julie, that's why it's so very important for you all to run, because of the simple fact is we need more women in office, especially when you're dealing with female reproductive rights. Because a man, I love men, but sometimes y'all don't know what's going on with our bodies. Like right now, some of us over the age of 45 are going through menopause. Do you know they don't have research? They keep that quiet. They keep it quiet. They don't want to tell you. They want to make us think that we're broken, that we're having a mental crisis or something like that. And all it is you need to do more research. You had plenty of time, because your mama should have told you when she was going through menopause that she was having issues. But no, y'all want to write off and say that she's crazy or go take a Xanax. No, honey, I need a fan, and I need a heater. I need my blanket. I need you to leave me alone. Give me my ice cream and my ice.
And also, also, we need you to go vote. If you get in a hot flash, that's a power surge. That means you get out there and you get the vote out and you change the laws and you get yourself into the legislature and you make good laws and get these bad laws off the record.
Hey, I agree with you. I agree with you, Christy, because I'm telling you, you guys do not understand. These hot flashes are no joke. We if come next what tomorrow when the temperature drops and you see a bunch of women that are a certain, you'll see them, you'll understand. If you see us outside with no jacket on and we in a muscle shirt, leave us alone. Just leave us alone. Don't ask no questions. Just leave us alone. Say, hey, how you doing? You look wonderful today. Don't say nothing else. Don't say nothing else, Nick. Don't say it. But we definitely need to do more research. So, what you were saying earlier, yes, we need more community hospitals, especially over in Denton. We need some mental health care because we got a lot of people. Do y'all understand what these young children are going through that's behind us? The mental stress. I have a younger sister that's under the age of 40, believe it or not, and she just lost her job in December because of what's going on in the country. She's in the medical field. What are we going to do about this? How many nurses that went to school for all these years and now you're being told, oh, that's not professional. You don't have a professional license. But you want to garnish these folks' checks
Mm-hmm.
because they ain't paid their student loan. Somebody got to make this make sense. We got a problem and we got to fix it. And the only way, Christy, like you said, Nick, Julie, we got to get people out. We got and Mr. Evans, we got to get people out to the polls. Democrats, libertarians, y'all got to go vote. Do not sit your butt at home. Get out, go vote because I'm telling you, this I said this last year and I'm gonna say it again. Well, the year before last, these years are crunching up together. Y'all, we're the last line of defense. This is it. Right now, we're holding that line and we're holding it three deep. We three deep in and we're holding that line. But in order for us to cross it, we got to get you new people out to get registered to vote before February the 3rd. We got to get you out when comes February 17th. Y'all got to go early vote. And if you miss it during the early voting time, you got to go vote March 3rd. This is right now. Primary is so very important. And I want y'all to listen. If you're a Democrat, don't take your ass over there to the Republican side trying to go vote in the Republican race. You're not helping the cause. What you're doing is you're hurting your own party. You're taking money away. And that's the same thing like the Republican. Don't bring your butt over here hollering about you finna vote in a Democrat race. Don't do that. We don't want you over here. Now, when general election come and you decide that, hey, I like this candidate and I want to vote for this candidate, go right ahead on and do it. Vote for whoever you want to. But in the primary, we're trying to make sure that we have the right people in the right places. And I'm going to tell y'all this. Be careful of wolves in sheep clothing. Because there's some of them that say they're us and they're not us.
Culvert.
You
Excuse me.
there's a bunch of them. I'm not preaching today, but I'm just telling y'all. There are some people that say that, hey, we're for the people, and you're really not for the people. You for the streets. You ain't for us. Because if you were, you'd be sitting out here making sure that you do the right thing and say the right stuff. But I'm gonna get off my soapbox tonight because I'm heated and I'm passionate about what's going in my America because we gotta fix it. We gotta take responsibility what's going on in our country, and we have to hold these people accountable. In order for you to hold people accountable, y'all got to go vote. Now I'm gonna turn this on over to Dale. I'm gonna mute myself for a minute.
Oh, okay, sure, absolutely. So, I definitely will say I don't know if you guys are fine to stay on. I know that we might be running out of time, but I definitely want to give everyone an opportunity to again talk about themselves, their campaign. Stephanie, are you fine with us starting to do our outros right now? I think that's a yes.
Yes, go
All
ahead.
right,
You got it.
cool. All right, Christy, let's start with you. Please again remind everyone who you are, what you're running for, and tell them tell us about yourself.
Okay, my name is Christie Wood. I am running for the Texas House of Representatives, District 64, and I am having my campaign kickoff party on January the 20th over at Steve's Wine Bar. It's going to be a fun time. I finally have all of my posters in, so you can pick up yard signs and do whatever. My website is up. I'm on all the social media platforms. I'm busy right now filling out um, surveys from the Dallas Morning News and various other places seeking endorsements. But my campaign is based on grassroots people. I am a longtime supporter of various things in Denton County. I've been an election judge for the last 10 years. I've worked on the election liaison team for the Democratic Party with the elections office. I currently am on the board of a nonprofit, Friends of Shiloh Garden, which is, believe it or not, the USA's largest community garden right here in Denton. And we supply produce and eggs to 14 different other nonprofits. We actually grow food for the hungry. 100% of everything we grow is donated. And I'm on their board and I'm their grant writer. So I have some experience with the City of Denton, working with the Human Services Advisory Council, which recommends how to spend money for homelessness, for affordable housing projects, et cetera, et cetera. Anyway, I am running for the Texas state legislature. I would love to have your vote to send me to Austin. But first, we need to get through the primary. So please go vote. Go vote early. Being an election judge, I've seen it. Vote early. So start February 17th through the 27th is early voting. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And now, Julie, on to you. Please introduce yourself and tell us who you are and what you're running for. Oh, yep. Also, Julie, I think you might be on mute. Can you? Oh, she can't hear us. Okay.
There you go.
We're gonna,
My name is
yeah.
Julie Evans. I'm running for House District 64. I'm a longtime Dentonite. I went to UNT. Of course, back then it was North Texas State University. We have 3 kids that all graduated from UNT. So when you talk about student loans and grants and stuff like that, we certainly understand the high cost of education in America, in Texas. I love our college system. I'm a huge supporter of that, and research and grants and stuff like that. Um, as a retired educator, as you can imagine, high teacher pay is high on my list. Teachers do not get paid enough. That's just it. They should be fully funded. Schools should be fully funded. This is a no-brainer. I read a really interesting article that Ireland was in the depths of a war from the north to the south, drugs on one side and poverty on the other. And they just did an entire turnaround that took them about 8 years. And they did it in one way and one way only. And that was investing in education. And they turned it around to now they're a powerhouse. And I don't see any reason why Texas should be left behind. I mean, we're an incredibly rich state. Another big deal with me is the rural areas. I have a lot of friends that the current development that they just recently voted on is going to personally affect. I know at least 3 people who are going to move as a result of that. And so they talk about the fact that the water's already scarce. The animals there are already leaving. And so those are big deals with me. I've spent my life being an educator, being a mom, being a grandmother, being a Navy veteran's mom. And I can tell you right now that every single day my husband put his uniform on, every day, it filled us with just a crazy kind of pride. I mean, it can't be overstated how important that is. My dad is a Navy vet. We come from a big family of union workers. I am in 2 unions myself. the teachers union and the railroad union. I'm a fourth generation railroad kid. So great, 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 great grandfather, great, great grandfather, grandfather, my dad, all my uncles, everyone in my family were brakemen, engineers, and worked the railroad from literally coast to coast and shut it down several times to get great health care. And so I'm very pro union, very, very believe very much in the power of people to be able to make their own destiny within a company. The Death Star law was something that just blew me away. The fact that Abbott said you don't have to give people in Texas when it's 100-degree heat a mandatory cooling break. Those kinds of things are just some of the most ridiculous, the least common sense things that I've ever read. And so all of those are incredibly important to me. And obviously healthcare with not just my family's personal struggle with our disabled daughter and our granddaughter, but everybody not being able to have the care they need. Expanding ACA, doing away with tax credit premiums. The list goes on and on. Look me up. I'm everywhere. My launch party is tomorrow night at the Brown Thumb. That's a locally owned coffee shop that's full of plants. If you've never been, it's amazing. And Todrick Coleman, a local chef who we've known for years, is going to bring his truck out there, and we're going to have a good time and get to know people. As a Cajun, I've said this before. I think you've all heard it. I do feel like I have to meet everybody on the planet, everyone, before I finally pass. And so I know Stephanie knows what I'm talking about because we had a gumbo talk the other day, and we both believe in filet and inside of our gumbo. And so we agree on that. So I believe that you should take care of your neighbors like you take care of your friends and your family. And so come on out, meet us, and I'll stop talking. Stephanie knows I just have to be muted. So thanks for your time, and thank you, Dale and Stephanie, for hosting us.
Absolutely. Thank you for being here. We have lots of great candidates here tonight. Also, Nick, please, again, remind our audience what you're running for and what a judge is in this context.
Right, that's great.
Hey everybody, I am Nick Pappas. I am running for Denton County Judge. That is the CEO of the county. That is not a bench judge in a courtroom. This is the one that makes decisions, that leads the county, that decides what's being discussed, and that helps the people. That being said, let's help the people. I believe in transparent government and accountability. So when they're talking about a launch party going tomorrow, they're talking about January 15th. When we're talking about Texas House District 64, we're talking northwest Denton County. So we're talking Denton and all northwest of that. That is House District 64 in Denton County. It still goes outside of Denton County, but that's just our slice. That being said, we've got UNT, the University of North Texas, especially in Denton, that have a program called the North Texas Promise. They are increasing their ability to provide affordable education for everybody trying to go to their college. So that's people that are making less than $100,000, families that are making less than $100,000 or qualify for Pell Grant. So there's that. And then we have 3 special elections. We've got one in Frisco, and that's the Frisco City Council Place 1. We've got Ann Anderson and another Republican, but he's currently being endorsed by the state and county Republican parties, so I'm not even going to say his name. Then we've got the special election for Texas 18. So that is a state House of Representatives, so part of the Congress, but that's 18. The problem is that's also a fraction of the 9th district that was just taken away. That's Al Green's district. So we have 2 people in a runoff that are going to be going for March, and then as soon as they're going for a runoff January 31st. That's all 3 of these are going January 31st. After one of them wins the runoff, then they're going to go against Al Green, both Democrats, for that seat. He's already registered and everything, so that's going to happen there. Last one I wanted to talk about was we've got what was it? It was the one that Remit's running in, Taylor Remit. He just got part of his runoff, so he is going against the Republican for that special election. So make sure that you're voting for him as well. And the last thing that I wanted to say is thank y'all so much for hosting me. I appreciate y'all listening to all of my rants. And sometimes I go high and to the right, but I appreciate y'all still inviting me back. So thank y'all very much for doing this.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for being here, and thank you for running. Stephanie, I guess I'll go ahead and then I'll plug myself real quick, and then I'll hand it off to you to close up. Hello, my name is Dale Frey, and I'm running to be your Denton County Clerk. That's the clerk for the county, and it's also the clerk for the Denton County Commissioner's Court. But I'm going to talk more about that maybe next time and time after, because there's a couple other things I want to plug real quick with their very precious time. As Nick mentioned, of course, if you live in Frisco, there's a special election happening right now. And by right now, I mean today, Wednesday, the 14th, is the first day of early voting. And please, we suggest, and again, this is by no means an endorsement. This is not an endorsement, but we do suggest Ann Anderson over her opponent. We at the Frisco Democratic Club have posted online saying that Mark Peeland is our very controversial former fire chief who resigned because he was about to be fired. And for that reason, we think Ann Anderson is the better candidate. Now, since the Frisco Democratic Club has posted that online, apparently Mark Peeland has taken a screenshot of that in our logo and has claimed that Ann Anderson is endorsed by the Frisco Democratic Club. That is not the case. We know they're both Republicans. We know this because they both vote in Republican primaries. We are simply looking for the lesser of the evils. Also, Ann Anderson has come to our Frisco Democratic Club events. We sometimes do have Republicans that show up to our events. And what that shows in that situation where it's a nonpartisan election, right, because it's a city council, there will not be a D or an R next to anyone's name. But when Ann Anderson shows up to our events, it shows us that she's willing to reach across the aisle and talk to us, something that Mark Peeland has refused to do. She's not the only Republican who has come out. Tammy, who used to be on the Frisco City Council, has come out to her events. And so has even Bert Thacker. So the fact that Mark Peeland is not willing to come out and even talk to us, but Ann Anderson is something that really speaks to the character of those candidates. So again, it's by no means that any official endorsement. We just think that of the two, Ann Anderson may be the better choice. Also, I want to plug January 26th. January 26th is all about Congressional District 26 because we have two candidates who are vying for your vote in a primary for Congressional District 26. That is Stephen Shook and Ernest Lineberger. Both Stephen Shook and Ernest Lineberger are going to be at the Progressive Leaders Toastmasters Club on January 26th, where we host a forum on Congressional District 26. The first half an hour will be moderated. We will be asking the candidates questions. And the second half hour, they will be taking questions from the audience. So go to Facebook, look up Progressive Leaders Toastmasters. You can also find it on Mobilize. January 26th is all about Congressional District 26. So please come out and see our candidates. And also, please come back to this podcast. We're going to try to have both of them back on the podcast as well. And Stephanie, I'm going to hand it back off to you for outro. Oh, unless she's frozen, in which case we might have to. Yeah, it's okay. Internet happens. I know that we had someone else on earlier and on and off. Stephanie, I think I saw you were frozen still. Okay. Well, with that said, thank you all very much for being here. It's very important, and also kudos to our candidates, both of our primary opponents, for showing up at the same time. I know that sometimes in politics things can get awkward like that, but the fact that you both show up at the same time really speaks to your character, and it shows that you're really willing to, despite any level of awkwardness or not, you're willing to show up and communicate with each other. And I think that's very important. And I really want to say thank you both for doing that. I don't see candidates do that very often, to be honest with you. So the fact that you're both here really speaks to your character. Stephanie, are you back? I'm trying to basically spend time till your internet connection comes back. If not, then we might have to just call it a night here. Stephanie, I see you're moving. Can you hear us, Stephanie? Can we hear you? If not, okay. All right. Well, I do have the admin access to end the broadcast. So with that said, if you guys you don't have to go, but we are going to say goodbye to the audience. So thank you all very much for showing up to Let's Talk About It, Steph. We have this podcast every single Wednesday at 7 p.m. I hope to see you next time. And to all the audience, all a good night. And with that said, I'm clicking the end broadcast button